It's
Oh,
you're live.
oh, hi. My name is Jeff.
Mike is
So,
texting.
welcome.
Every,
Nobody's focused. Come on, guys. You need to be focused.
we spoke about that today.
Focal point.
You don't got to be
Focal points.
ready all the time. You got
Focal
smiling
points.
all the time. So, another live, fellas. It's Friday. So, let's jump in right away.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Residential.
Residential versus commercial. What
Um,
to choose? How do you choose? Should you be doing both? How can you do both? Can you be good at both? See, I'm asking so many questions.
well, you could be good at many things, but I think that it's two separate worlds, two completely different expertise. And so you can have a license. It seems like I'm really dark there on the screen, but you can have both licenses, but you can't, I don't think, become an expert or a specialist in both. You can't be a cardiologist. I'm sure you can, but generally speaking, you can't be a cardiologist and a
So all of a
toe.
sudden, you're taking back my example.
I will use your example because I think it's a great example. So you study the whole body as a doctor, but
You
you can
do.
specialize. So you can be a residential broker and study commercial and have both licenses. You can even be a mortgage broker. We have a mortgage cabinet, and I see one of my partners there that's connected. Thank you, Sam, for connecting. You can and could have Mike. You're doing, and you have your mortgage license. You have
Yes.
your real estate license for residential and commercial.
Yes.
Does it mean you're an expert in all three? No,
No.
but I don't think it's a bad idea to actually go and get the knowledge and get the information.
I think the doors are open, and I think also that in commercial you have many facets. You could be selling restaurants, or you could be selling multiplexes, or you could be selling parking lots. You know what I mean? So I think so, or stores or whatever it is. So it's a lot. It's very different from what you're going to do. So you can have somebody that's a residential person that you have that's a client of yours, and all of a sudden wants to buy a 10 apartment buildings, and
Yeah.
you want to help them out. You can't do it because you don't have the license to do it.
Well, it's yes, there's that, but should you be doing it though if you've never done it or if you only studied it but you never practiced it? Like if you study medicine, can you actually go and start operating day two? I don't want to be the guy that's the
No,
patient of
but
this
you know what? It's the
cardiologist.
same thing. When you got your residential or your commercial, I mean, at some point you got to get your feet wet.
Yeah, but
So
you should be doing it with someone with experience. I had someone actually when I started. That's a good point. When I started, there was this older broker that took me on and kind of helped me out, and I went with him, and I just sat and listened and didn't say anything, just watched,
yeah,
and then slowly integrated myself into the conversation and or in the doing of. But to jump from the get go, I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's sometimes you don't have a choice.
okay.
No,
Can I
I
ask you
think I
something?
think I think it's a good point to because when you compare to my camera, not I guess my camera is not working. So
So go,
listen
Mike.
to
Okay.
my. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead, Mike. Go
sorry.
ahead. No, no,
An
go ahead. Go ahead.
example I wanted to give you is, let's say, a fourplex.
Yes.
You've got 4 apartments. You can do it with a residential license. Somebody that's got 7 apartments, the building is not that much difference, except that you've got 3 apartments more.
That's a good point.
But you can still do the transaction, but you can't do it because your license won't allow you to do it. But even though the situation is similar.
Yeah, it is similar, but I'm going to add that under 5 units, the reason why it's residential, it's mostly, again, I'm generalizing here, but mostly people that will buy these fourplexes or under to live in one of the units. Versus when you get into the bigger stuff, it's different. It's more as an investment, less as a I need someone else to help me pay my rent,
Yeah.
so I'm going to buy a three or a two or a fourplex. What do you
No,
think, Jeff?
well,
You own some of these properties, so.
yes, indeed. Well, so just before that, you guys
And
mentioned.
sorry,
Yes,
but
yes,
let me
yes,
ask a second part to the question.
yes.
Why wouldn't you have bought instead of buying all these duplexes, threeplexes, and four? But why would you not have consolidated all of those and buy a 22,
Well, because
24?
at the time, well, that's the goal.
And this should be a question for.
That's the goal. The goal is to if to one point when I get enough equity to be able to take and get to the
Okay,
big boys.
so that was always the intention.
Of course,
So you having your commercial license would be an asset.
it will.
Okay.
It will. I have a really big interest into commercial. Now I think I understand numbers. I think I understand balance sheets. I think I understand revenues or properties or etc. So these are things that interest me, so that's why it makes sense for me to kind of go in that field, just because I do have this interest and I'd like
But-
to educate myself. But what I was going to say earlier
Oh, sorry,
regarding
yeah.
the because you mentioned it, you wouldn't go you wouldn't get operated on that a surgeon who just started or starting. No, because usually it takes you 5 to 7 years to even practice. So
There you
it
go.
would be the same thing in commercial. I'm assuming here. I hate to assume, but I think you should still, if you do decide to go in the commercial world, well, you should surround yourself with people
Well,
that are
again,
better than you,
it-
that are doing it.
Yeah,
who
but
have
it
been doing
also
it.
depends on your level of expertise. If you've been running a business for multiple years with success, I have to add that with, and you understand, let's say,
That's right.
a business, and then you go into commercial and you start selling businesses, then you'll have the knowledge or the expertise or
Well,
the
it comes
experience.
back to knowledge. So if you do have the knowledge, if you do
Yes.
have the experience, you put it all together.
But if I'm 20 years old and I've never operated or never had a business, don't understand nothing about a business except textbook, and I go into commercial and I'm
Yes.
going to start selling businesses, I wouldn't want to be the buyer working necessarily. And I'm generalizing here. There's always going to be exceptions,
course.
and obviously, but that's kind of where I was going. So should you get your commercial license if you're a residential broker or vice versa? We want to hear you. If there's brokers watching, I can see there's many here. We want your experience. We want your comments. Yes, go ahead.
Don't be
Victoria.
shy with the flag. Don't be shy. There you go.
Go for it.
Go for it, Victoria.
So I have Jamie Batista who wants to know it's like more of a comment, I think. Before I started being a real estate broker, I took both licensing exams, residential and commercial. Best decision I've ever made.
Well, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank
Jamie. But why? Why is it your best decision? I want to hear it.
So, Mike, you did both. You still do both. We said you're doing your you're not doing, but you're going to activate your mortgage license now.
Right.
You're going to attach it to our mortgage cabinet.
Right.
Why? What's the motivation? What's the drive?
motivation is just
Or am I just a good salesman?
No, just to have I think the more doors are open for you, the better it is. You never know when the opportunity is going to come, and the fact that you're able to get into that transaction when the time comes makes that you're that more ready. So for me, the more you know, the better it is. That's how I look at it.
So it's basically like it's understanding whatever transaction or type of transaction that you can have. I would still, like in my expertise. Well, the moment you're able to maybe have that first or second conversation, the first or second level of conversation.
Yeah.
Still surround yourself with someone who's actually an expert. So if I do have I'll get my commercial, and if I'll do it, I'm doing a transaction. I understand Plex, because that's what I'm doing. But if I get into this industrial,
exactly, I was gonna say
type of
if you get into
business,
a restaurant, and you're like, I'm going to refer you to my friend because I'm not an expert in restaurants.
even restaurant, I had restaurants.
Wow.
No, but
Good.
it's kind of the same example. If you're going into industrial, you're
course.
limited. You understand it, but
Of course,
have you had the experience of? That's what we're talking about.
That's right.
There's a excuse me. There's a question or a comment. Victoria, go ahead.
I have a question from Melissa who wants to know what the difference is in terms of the clientele between residential and commercial.
Well, they're both humans, so I would say no. But it's. I want to make a point here. When you're trying to
They both have legs, and
no, but you're trying to connect with someone. You're trying to build a relationship. It doesn't matter if it's commercial or not. It's the same approach. You need to build.
is it really?
It is. It's the product that's different, but the actual relationship building part, the nurturing part, is going to be the same. To get the business will be the same steps.
In that sense, but I think that the people that
In
you're
all
facing-
senses.
No, I think the people that
No,
you're
yeah,
facing,
because
I
I
think they're
half
different.
agree.
Like, your family is looking for a house, and some guy that wants to know where his money's going. I mean,
Where his money's going?
yeah, where he's investing. and
Where's
how he's
my
investing.
money going? Is your client?
Well, my money.
But he's a human being, so why is he coming to you?
Well, because he definitely needs somebody to help him get his transaction done. But she's talking about if the clients are different.
They're not different.
The approach that you're going to have with a business client, I think, would be different than if you're going to approach a family.
Not at all. I
Their
completely
needs- their
disagree.
needs are
But I appreciate your your
No,
comment.
I think you're both right in certain extents. I do. Yes, you're right. It's a person. And the person
No,
do
but-
have emotion. Do have.
but put it in the
connection, does
context.
Have,
You're the owner of a successful fishing
yeah, but you're gonna give me an
operation.
example that obviously
No.
resonate or fix in your
Okay, so you give
criteria,
me-
and you're gonna give another example that obviously fits your.
Okay, so
fits
I'm the
your-
client
your point.
inquiring about where's my money going, as you put it, right? Who am I deciding to do business with, you or him, who both have your commercial license? Am I going with who's going to answer my question? No.
it's not about who you're going with.
It's gonna be-
The question was, what is the difference between both clients?
Nothing. That's the answer. Thank you for the question.
I do believe the approach. Again, I'm not a commercial broker, but I do believe the relationship. And you're right, there is a relationship, but a relationship is different because we're talking about numbers. And I know a lot of those business or those business owners in the commercial world. You can be the nicest
No,
guy.
but
you
guys,
you
you're
can
not
have the
understanding.
relation. Yeah, what I mean is you can have the relationship, but at the end of the line, they will say, well, just if you manage to make the deal happen, you're the one that'll get the deal.
Let's get some more comments because I see many hands raised here. Go ahead, Victoria.
Yeah, quite a few comments actually. So I'll start off with Sebastian and Jamie. Sebastian is saying that licenses better have them and not need them.
Yes.
Than need them and not have them, because as Mike says, sometimes the deal isn't that different for you between 4X and the 7X.
A fourplex or a
Fourplex.
sevenplex.
Okay.
Yes.
As Etienne says, however, there are two very different worlds at one point. In my book, you need to dive into a firm specialized in commercial to go big in it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So before you go on to the next, so the environment is going to be important too. Yes, because if you're trying to do a certain transaction and you're not just surrounded by the right support team, it's going to get quite messy and
Good point.
complicated.
Good point.
So thank you for that. Forget the Jamie,
Sebastian.
Thank you, Sebastian.
But I do have Jamie who responded to that, saying that for me, it comes down to business management. Residential deals take far less time than commercial deals. And in my experience, business owners and investors already understand how money works, and they aren't too picky when choosing a property to flip. I was also lucky because my mentor has been doing both residential and commercial for 20 years.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like I also had that a possibility when I started, with just by coincidence, someone said, "Hey, come with me," and this person was a very experienced broker. So it certainly helps, and it certainly helps, like Sebastian was saying, to have the right environment, the right team. Do we have any other comments, or we go to no? Go ahead.
Yeah, one more comment from Kaliza 2000, who's joining us again for the
Hello,
short
Kaliza.
version, who says power of leverage on the commercial properties, 6+ units, is way more interesting than residential, meaning less than 5 units.
Yeah, well, that and it goes back, I think, to a bit what I was saying. I believe is that when you're going into the less than 5 units, a lot of those buyers, Jeff,
Right.
you would know more than me. Well, I don't think that you would, but that's
no,
just
I
for
do.
conversation's
No, I
sake.
do. I do.
It's more. Did you buy your first one with the intent of living in it?
Yes, that was the
originally?
intent.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I
The-
think that's also.
the intent was to house hack, 100%. Just live in the
Yeah.
in the bachelor and just make tons of money out of it.
But I would say also from my experience, that's the bulk
usually
of the
yeah.
majority of, or people that want to get into investing and just don't have the necessary capital for bigger properties. Mike,
Of course.
once you get over the 16 unit mark, it's a different kind of
different kind of
buyer. It's a different kind of environment. It's less, the competition is different. The financing becomes completely different also. And by the way,
Even the management is different.
the man,
course.
yeah, exactly. Good point. So for those that are maybe looking to invest, we encourage you to reach out for financing. We have a mortgage cabinet, Omnium Capital Alliance. You can reach us through any channels, and the Groupe Meller, any accounts and channels.
And talking about investment,
Yeah.
we have this amazing opportunity that's starting. We have an event next week, so maybe you want to talk about this.
Yeah, to introduce you to this opportunity, to many opportunities actually, as for investors or for people to live in, which residential and commercial. This is exclusive to Meller Group brokers or Meller Group members. Inquire if you want to become a Meller Group member or broker. But this event is going to be held next Thursday, the 28th of April. It's a happy hour starting around 5 o'clock. You're invited. It's the address is 10,000 Rue Meillard. It's an UNSIC. It's a project called Crown. One of the owners is there watching right now, I believe, or had joined, Sam. and Sam will be there. We'll interview and we'll ask him questions about the project. This is it's a great opportunity for everybody. And again, I repeat, it's exclusive to Mellor Group brokers and Mellor Group members, as well as mortgage brokers from our division, Omnium Capital Alliance. Mike, you're going to become a mortgage broker.
Yes, I am.
You have the license, but you're going to actually start learning more about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know about it. You've been in the business long enough, but how do you see it? Could it apply also for mortgages? Is there a big difference between residential mortgages versus commercial?
There is a difference, yeah. I do believe that there's a difference. I mean, I'm not going to dive into it, but I think there is.
Go in the micro, please. Go in the very fine details. Maybe before that, we're going to ask Victoria, because we have a question or a comment.
Yes, a comment from Sebastian, who says, in commercial real estate, the commission split is often 50-50 with your own agencies because of services and support they should be giving you. In residential, you can pocket much more of your commissions unless you're taking advantage of being part of a team.
Yeah, Sebastian, I agree. And I will say that it's changing, though. It's more and more changing on that end. I think there's more and more services that are being offered to commercial brokers that don't require as much active participation by the agency. And I think I'll leave it at that. We have a commercial division. So if ever anybody watching is interested in learning more, please reach out. Jeff, we were just discussing that actually at lunch.
On lunch, that's right.
So
great things,
yes,
great opportunities. So don't hesitate to reach out. And at the end, it's just a conversation. So.
Yeah, and you know what? We network a lot in the industry. It's feel free. It's not. Let's just get to know each other. I think it's for the better of the industry. If we get to know each other, it's going to facilitate collaboration. It's hard not to collaborate with someone that you got to know, and it's such a small little community. It seems big, but it's not. It's really small. We all know each other, so. An activity that we do here quite a bit of, and also that's kind of why we're doing this show every day, is to share and to engage and to collaborate. So thank you all for participating. Mike, do we have any other comments or questions? We're going to talk about.
You got to talk about the prizes.
Oh yeah,
the contest.
So you want go for it?
Oh yeah, so we've got prizes that we're going to be able to give out.
Don't be excited about it, because it's really not an exciting
We're talking
thing.
about $10,000 of products, of Apple products.
But it should not be said in an exciting way.
$10,000.
Yeah.
So we're giving out an iPad.
Mike, you've got the voice too, so you got to do the deep. Like
the sun is like.
Oh, come on, man. Just do it.
Wear your shades. Bring your shades.
Okay. Yeah, so MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, EarPods, and iPhone. So basically, in order for you to get a chance to win or an opportunity to win, you're going to need to either subscribe, put some likes, comment.
Oh my God!
Put the shots on. Put the shot on me.
And then that's it.
Subscribe.
So okay, look. Let me do it quick because we're using up everybody's minutes and time. Every time you subscribe, like, comment, tag, you get a chance. Every time when you subscribe to any account, you get 5 times. When you do everything else, it's 1 time. At the 100th episode, we're going to do the draw. So you can go back to any of our posts. Every time you comment, you get an extra chance. So go for it. Go crazy. You can even go on Google and give us a review, and you get 5 participation every review, good or bad. We're not going to be picky. Victoria, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple more comments. Another one from Sebastian here, who says, for loans, residential depends on the borrower capabilities while qualifying the asset, and commercial depends more on the asset capabilities while qualifying the borrower.
That's a good point.
That's
a great point.
Zachar also says 100%.
Steve
all the way.
Thank you, Steve, for that. And so, Jeff, any plans for the weekend before we go?
A lot of plans. I'm gonna dig with my truck.
See,
I do not have a truck. I'm just picking on him.
It's not a truck; it's a tractor.
Oh, sorry, tractor. See, I
and
don't even
Steve
know that.
would understand. Steve has actually he's got a bigger tractor than me. For those that don't know, and so we should put a little video. I'm gonna do this, Stephen. We're gonna record me digging, and we're gonna play it. So it's hours of fun.
So Etienne is actually the type of person that can look or watch videos of digging for hours and hours and hours and wasting so much time.
You know, like the project with the excavators and all that. I
Yes.
missed that part, but I'm sure I'm gonna get to see that. But my dream, and I hope Sam is still there. If I can get into one of those big excavators, just to dig a bit, that would be like a dream come true. So I have a little tiny Kubota tractor with the
Yeah,
excavator.
you have a baby toy.
But if
A
I can
baby
get
toy.
into those big ones, wow!
Why don't you get your license?
Do I need a license?
You need a license, yeah.
Well,
Probably.
I mean, it doesn't mean you need to use it, but just the fact of having it would be.
Well, what about I drive it without a license? That's even more exciting.
You can do that.
Go for it, Victoria.
Yeah, just another comment again from Colisa 2000, who says the difference between financing a commercial and residential properties is huge.
Absolutely. And thanks again for participating. Every
Oh,
time you are
cool.
participating, you get an extra chance.
Go.
We have Miss Maria here. I think you might know her, who says, I think you should give your wives some presents too for undeniable support.
Oh, that's a good point. My love,
Oh.
Maria, my wife. Will you support me on the weekend while I dig holes everywhere in the yard? So I was saying, just last thing on the digging. So last weekend was the first time I was using it. I start digging, like I have tree stumps, and so I start digging, but it's a big one, so I didn't finish it because the week started. But now it's filled with water, and so my dog Winston, he goes in, and he's all muddy, and so she wasn't too happy about that. But she found a solution. You see, this is the type of woman she is. She didn't complain, and she says, "We're just gonna fence it. You're gonna fence it on the weekend so that the dog doesn't go." So that's another
So
project.
now,
Now
so
you're
that's your
gonna
new
be
next
fencing. Yeah, yeah.
project.
You're
Is
gonna be fencing
So I'm
it.
gonna
fence
spend
it.
8 hours trying to fence this thing.
Why don't you
To
just take it out?
take what out?
Take the stuff
Yeah,
out.
but it's way more longer than I thought.
Obviously.
It's a
Now
bigger
he's gonna
project.
start, and he's gonna take him this entire summer. And go ahead, Victoria.
Yeah, I have a lovely comment from Sebastian here who says, you guys rock. Have a great weekend. And then Steve, who has a couple comments saying that was based on the collaboration comment. I believe that's in reference to when he said 100%. He says word.
He likes the tractor
gotta love
topic.
Steve. Gotta love Steve.
It's because of Steve that I got my tractor. Actually, he's the one that nudged me into getting the
Really, yeah?
excavator. Yeah, for real.
That's insane. That's nice.
He also says, how much is that dream worth to you? I can make it happen. Lol, joking.
Oh, I'm sure I can get it for
Ah.
free. I know enough people that I'm sure, but I should do it. I
Let's
never
make it
actually.
happen.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? We'll do a live on
Well,
the
it'll be
excavator.
cool for you.
You're cool for me.
I think you'll be excited.
Oh, I will.
As for the rest, we'll be just
So
exciting. No, yeah, sure.
let's thank you all. You're thanking us, but let's thank you for participating. And we said earlier, if there's topics that you'd like for us to cover or discuss, feel free to write it in the comments, and we'll do that. We also have a phone number you can text and or call us, 514-443-6466. Just give us an idea of what you'd like for us to talk about, and we'll try to make that happen.
Amazing.
All right, with that, I wish everybody a great weekend. We'll see you all on Monday.
Have a great weekend.